Yes. So what is the difference between natural wine, biodynamic, and organic?
So we work. This has three different approach. So first, for me, you've got the organic or biodynamic is just for the vineyard part, and after you got the cellar part. Some wine can be only natural. To be only natural, you need to be organic or biodynamic in the vineyard, and you have to be also natural in the cellar. With organic or biodynamic grapes, you can produce some natural wine or more conventional wine. But with unorganic grapes, it's impossible to produce some natural wine. So it's really important to understand the two steps as you can have in the vineyard and in the cellar.
So in the vineyard we can imagine this organic way of working, but in the cellar, what is specificity to be natural?
What is specific is to just help the nature to go in one way, but we are not had some things in the process. For a lot of people, by definition, wine is natural, but when you know how it's made, you can add more than 30 or 50 different things in the wine. So most of the conventional wine contains some selected yeast, contains some sulfites, contains some enzyme, contains some sugar, contains some acid. So the result is you've got a product contain some grape juice, but not at 100%. So in my feeling, if you start to add some other elements, it's impossible to talk about just, for example, the French regulation AOC, so it's appellation with control origin. In my point of view, is to start to add some, for example, selected yeast, select in New Zealand. If you had in your grape juice in France, it can be a good wine, but it's impossible to talk about the origin because the yeast doesn't come from the area.
And keeping wine in oak, is it natural? You use usually not new oak, old oak barrels.
Yes. What we try to do is to do the old style Sancere you can find, I can say 1 century ago. So in century ago there is no still, all of the elements as the plastic tank or something that doesn't exist. So what we use the old style so oak barrel, invented by the Gauls people, during the Roman period. They invent the form of the wood. The barrel got a certain form for many reasons. First, with old oak barrel, we can add some oxygen at the tiny dose, micro-oxygenation. And in the meantime, the form help the form of the barrel help for the sedimentation, because inside the barrel you've got some electric movement, help all of the big piece, all of the sediment to go down and clarify naturally the wine.
Okay, so we can switch from speaking about natural wine to kind of historical wine. So this was done in previous times as well, and this is like motivation to make old style wine.
For me, the motivation is to make something real from the area, really pure, and also something is healthy for the nature, for the planet, and also for the drinker. As I'm one of the first consumer of my wine, and I want to drink something safe for me and healthy for me.
Okay, so 100 years ago, when this when new wave of winemaking started, wine we drink now, when it was invented?
It's for agriculture in general. It was invented after First World War. To making some bombs, you need a lot of chemical elements. During we can say the 4 years of the First War, there is a big industry start to work about this product, and after the war stopped, it was super good for the people, but it was very bad for the industry, and the industry starts to use these chemical elements to fertilize the land, fertilize, and it's turned like that. And after, it's just also a point of view is to show how it's possible to be totally independent to company. So we needn't to buy some selected yeast, we needn't to buy some sugar, we needn't to buy some pesticide. We only used as human made for a long time ago wine like we are doing.
Okay. So you work in Sancere. Is it a difficult area to be natural wine producer? Are you alone in Sancere, or there are more producers?
So unfortunately, we are so there is we are 300 producers in Sancere. We are around 10 producers certified organic or biodynamic. We are 3 producers certified biodynamic, but unfortunately we are alone in Sancere. We've got a friend in Pouilly-Fumé next to the river, Alexandre Bain, is making wine as we are producing, but unfortunately we are alone. For 2 reasons. First, we are very north in France, and where it's more difficult to work organically compared to South France or Italy or Spain, for example. It's for the vineyard. And secondly, it's difficult to have some ripe grapes. To make some natural wine, you need some ripe grapes, because if you use some unripe grapes, the fermentation will be difficult. So you have to add some selected yeast, because you harvest not ripe, you need to add some sugar, and you start to make the conventional wine. So for us it's really important to have some ripe grapes, and just for example, an example of the vintage 2013, we harvest the last week of October, which was very late, just before winter, to have some perfectly ripe grapes. So it's more easy to harvest early and add some sugar compared to harvest ripe.
Okay. So you started your natural wine movement or work 2004.
2004 was my first vintage, yes.
And was it your vineyard, or you?
No, it's a family vineyard. We've got from a family estate. We've got from many generations. But you work with my father. You run the estate as a conventional way, as 95% of the people in Sancere are doing, as with using pesticide in the vineyard, using chemical harvesting, using mechanical harvesting. Use some selected yeast, flavored yeast, sugar, and things like that. And so in 2004, with my wife, we decided to turn step by step the estate to arrive at 100% certified organic, biodynamic, and made full natural wines.
So was your wife Lithuanian at that time?
My wife, Jūratė, is Lithuanian. Yeah, yes.
Did she like that idea?
Yes, she helped me a lot to go this way.
Good. Thank you very much. Okay.